Happy Wednesday, everybody. My name is Ian Utile. I'm one of the co-producers at NFT.NYC, and I'm here with Kevin from banq. And Kevin and I, we're going to have a conversation. You're welcome to tune in and listen as I hopefully learn a bit about you, Kevin, and what you and your team do at banq. Would you mind introducing yourself and give me some insights?
Hey, Ian, thanks for having me on. My name is Kevin Lehtiniitty. I'm the co-founder and CTO at a company called banq, banq. At banq, our mission is really focused around accessibility of NFTs. So we believe that NFTs are going to eat the world, much like the internet did in the 90s into 2000s into today. We think we're in kind of NFT 1995, and there's a lot of people who are familiar in the crypto space who have experience with things like private keys, seed phrases, things like that can get over the technical hurdles of interacting with NFTs, whether they be expensive JPEGs or whether they represent identity, titles, real property, things of that nature. But the 99% of the world, that's not an option. So we aim to build, and we've built the custodial alternative to wallets like MetaMask and things like that to really bridge the accessibility gap and enable, as kind of an infrastructure provider, enable all the amazing projects that are out there that are building on the NFT technology.
Since it's a big tech approach to support lots of different projects, do you and your team put a lot of emphasis on your own community development or supporting your strategic partners that build their communities? Give me some thoughts on community development and your take on it.
Definitely. Our primary distribution approach is B2B. So we build a lot of consumer-facing tools and software like the banq app that's in the iOS and Android app stores. But primarily our efforts are all about supporting our business customers. So it's about supporting the NFT marketplaces. It's about supporting really interesting projects. And we've been really lucky in that sense that a lot of really, really great people have taken us into their communities and have introduced us to their audience, their community members. And we've been able to have a pretty big impact on a lot of people in a very short amount of time because we're able to support all these existing communities.
That's very cool. I like it. So let's talk a bit about Web3 Tech and the platform that's been built. Not a lot of Web3 companies at any phase has been successful in launching apps natively on the mobile app. So maybe you could talk a bit about the challenges there and the things that you guys are really focused on in terms of platform today.
On the Web3 side, I think it's really about the audience that you're going after. And a lot of the people that are doing the Web3 tech, they're trying to bring basically self-custody solutions to the mass market. And on a personal note, I hold my own private keys. I'm a big believer in self-custody. But imagine that my health records, for example, are represented by an NFT, right? That would be phenomenal because now I can own that data, right? And I can bring my token from one hospital to another, one doctor to another, something like that. And now all the health records are shareable. It creates this more transparent ecosystem. It's phenomenal for a lot of reasons. And now I imagine that I call my mom and I tell her, hey, mom, great news. We have this awesome new NFT-based health records. All you have to do is grab your seed phrase, put it in some sort of a crypto steal, go put that in a bank vault. Don't lose your private key because your health records are permanently gone. And you start to see where the accessibility gap exists. Yeah. And that's where I think a lot of Web3 projects haven't had the success that they should, is because you have this barrier to user entry. And now our mission and our goal is not to be the innovative Web3 project. Our mission is to bridge that gap where someone can build something like this health records portal, or like I mentioned, title and things like that on the blockchain. And then instead of saying, hey, here's what you have to do, mom, it's great. All you have to do is link your bank app. Yep, email, password, there's a forgot your password button right there. If you forget your password, it's not the end of all of your data. We can recover that really easily, right? And kind of doing the custody piece, I think really helps bring in the 99%. And that's what we're about. It's NFTs for the 99%.
So do enterprises often say things like, wait, is this 2021 or did I go to the future? Because a lot of the things that you're talking about are things people project. So why don't we talk about the future for a moment?
Sure.
If I say to you NFT 2024, What type of positive things are you hoping for in this industry, or specifically for your company, in the next couple of years?
I want to see real world assets getting tokenized into NFTs. That's what I really want to see. I think NFTs are a distraction. I think the technology should be not necessarily exposed, right? So this is streaming live on YouTube. And my very strong assumption is that nobody that decided that they should watch us chat said, you know what, let me go connect the TCP IP and go to, nobody did that, right? People said, I'm going to go on YouTube and I'm going to watch this. Right. No one's really is caring about the underlying technology that's making it possible. And we view NFTs the same way. All people should want to do is focus on what NFTs can enable in the assets, not focused on the fact that it is an NFT or the fact that it is based on blockchain technology or things like that. I think fast forward to 24, that's an infrastructure layer, and people are focused on the benefits and the consumer applications and things like that.
So when you say real world items, do you think about some of the biggest assets that individuals own, like a replacement for a deed for a house or a pink slip for a car? Or are you thinking about things in the enterprise, since that's the B2B space that you're in? When you think about the real world asset applications of NFTs, are you thinking about intellectual property that's owned by a corporation or big commercial buildings? Give me a little bit of feedback on that.
That's the really cool part about being in the infrastructure space, is that people can build all sorts of different things on top of kind of the applications that we're building. Right? And I liken it oftentimes to AWS. There's enterprise applications, there's consumer facing applications, there's all sorts of different things. And I think it can be something as small or relatively small as giving users back control of their own data, right? And saying that my identity is actually in this token versus being shared and owned by other, fintech applications or something like that. Right. It can be as simple as doing authorization over NFTs, right? Why do I need to log into 50 different things? If I own this token, why can't I use my same token to access everything else? Or it can be something much bigger, like saying, hey, we'll take a title, or we'll take a car title or a real estate title, something like that. We'll put it on the blockchain, and now provenance, for example, on that real estate title is on chain. It's auditable by anybody in real time, completely transparently. And what happens to things like title insurance? I don't have to do a county by county search anymore across the entire US, basically, right? It's like, oh, here's a distributed, transparent ledger that anybody can look at. Yeah. So I think the applications are really far reaching. And that's why we build kind of both API-based things for platforms, but we also build the banq app and other things like that as consumer tools. So people that are building projects on top of NFTs, whether they be something more simple like data or more of an enterprise application, we can provide them the tools that they need to launch, get to market, and build their businesses.
Awesome. Well, I look forward to spending time with you and all the rest of the NFT friends in New York. Thanks for being a part of the event. Happy November 1st to the 4th. Any final words that you'd like to share with the community before we wrap up our conversation?
I think the biggest misconception about NFTs that at least we're constantly hit with is that NFTs are just really expensive JPEGs. If there's one thing that I can stress, it's that NFTs are a technology. Yeah. And I don't think people, and I include myself in this, I don't think people are able to predict all the different things that this technology will touch in the next decade. But I am extremely excited to see it.
Yeah, well, I like that final word. For those that might be watching us live or certainly watching the archive of this conversation, thanks to you for your attention. And I hope that you learned something from the conversation I just had with Kevin. And Kevin, I look forward to seeing you in New York